In the Halton District School Board, we believe that every child is capable of learning French. There are 6 principles set out by the Ontario Ministry of Education that guide our work. French as a second language programs are for all students. Teaching and learning French is recognized and valued. French as a second language serves as a bridge between languages and cultures. Learning French as a second language strengthens literacy skills. Research informs decision-making, and learning French as a second language is a lifelong journey. Here in the Halton District School Board, we offer 3 different French as a second language programs: Core French, Extended French, and French Immersion. In addition to providing a foundation for the learning of additional languages and the potential for more opportunities to participate in an increasingly globalized economy, learning French as a second language helps Ontario students to understand Canada's history and to develop an appreciation of French culture.
Core French is a mandatory program from grades 4 to 8 in English language schools in Ontario. Students study French for 120 to 200 minutes per week, allowing them to build a foundation in order to appreciate the language and to apply strategies and skills. In order to obtain their Ontario Secondary School Diploma, students need to acquire a minimum of 1 Core French credit, which is usually done in grade 9. We do, however, encourage students to continue to study Core French until graduation, as the ability to communicate in French and in another language can provide students with a distinct advantage in a number of careers, both in Canada and internationally. In the Core French classroom, students will have the opportunity to develop French language skills in listening, speaking, reading, and writing through an action-oriented approach. Interaction in authentic social situations enables students to see the value of communicating in both of Canada's official languages. In the Halton District School Board, primary Core French is also offered for 40 minutes per week in grades 1, 2, and 3. In this program, students are introduced to the French language through simple interactions, music, and games, and are assessed on the listening and speaking strands exclusively. The Core French program develops functional communication skills and builds intercultural understanding. In Halton, we aim to spark student engagement and inspire student confidence with a second language, opening the door to a world of possibilities.
Extended French begins in grade 7 in the Halton District School Board and is offered at Sir Ernest Macmillan Public School in Burlington. Students in this program will have half of their instructional day taught in French. Students study French for 750 minutes per week, allowing them to apply their language skills to other content areas. Subjects taught in French include French language arts, history, geography, science, and any other combination of subjects to bring the total instructional time in French to 50% of the program. In secondary school, students will need to accumulate a total of 7 credits in French, 4 in French language arts, and 3 in other content area courses where the language of instruction is French. Extended French enables students to make connections between languages while developing their literacy skills. The program provides cultural experiences and opportunities for students to develop an enhanced proficiency in French. Students strengthen their problem-solving abilities and their critical thinking by contextualizing how they use their French language skills on a daily basis.
French Immersion in the Halton District School Board begins in grade 2. In grade 2, students will have 100% of their instructional day in French. Therefore, there is no English instruction. In grade 3, 80% of their instructional day will be in French. The remaining 20% will be in English language arts. In grades 4 to 8, 50% of the instructional day will be in French. Subjects taught in French include French language arts, social studies, or history and geography, science, and any other combination of subjects to bring the total instructional time in French to 50% of the day. Subjects taught in English include math, English, language arts, and any other combination of subjects to bring the total instructional time in English to 50%. In secondary school, students will need to accumulate a total of 10 credits in French, 4 in French language arts, and 6 in other content courses where the language of instruction is French. Halton offers students opportunities to immerse themselves in the French culture and to further develop their confidence when communicating. The French Immersion program strives to develop enhanced proficiency, giving students more instructional time in French and the potential to further develop their global competencies.
Once students embark on an instructional sequence in Core French, Extended French, or French Immersion, they should advance through an organized sequence of learning experiences that permits a steady accumulation of knowledge and skills, which will allow them to gain a better perspective of the assets afforded to them by learning a second language. The 2 optional programs offered in Halton are Extended French and French Immersion. A typical day for students would look differently based on the choice of the program. In Extended French, students have already had the opportunity to learn French through exposure in their Core French class up to grade 6. Therefore, the fact that the language of instruction will be French for a large part of the day will be a welcomed experience. At Sir Ernest Macmillan, students will then continue to develop their language skills through various subjects and through a variety of experiences. In French Immersion, students will start in grade 2 with 100% of instruction in French. The teacher will communicate solely in French. Students will begin to develop proficiency by listening to the language as they would when acquiring any new language. Teachers will use strategies such as visual cues, gesture, and repetition to help students adapt and find their confidence when listening to the language. In time, students will then start to communicate and interact with their teacher in French. By the end of the year, the goal is to see and hear students using the French language in class with each other, continuing to build on their skills and to add to their own strategies while using the language in authentic ways. In grade 3, students will continue with intense French instruction, spending 80% of their day in French. English language arts will be reintroduced for approximately 60 minutes per day. Language skills will continue to develop through all 4 strands and across both languages. In grades 4 to 8, the intensity of the program will be 50% in French. Registration for Extended French is open to all grade 6 students, and registration for French Immersion is open to all students going into grade 2. Forms for the 2 optional programs can be found on the HDSB website on the Registering for French Immersion and/or Extended French page. The registration deadline for HDSB parents to register their child for either the Extended French or French Immersion programs is the last school day in January of their child's grade 6 or grade 1 year, respectively. Please check the HDSB website for exact dates for submission of forms. Parents will need to register each child individually. Having a sibling already in the program does not guarantee registration if the application form is not submitted by the deadline to the home school. You can find more details about home schools on the HDSB website under Find My Local School. If you are new to HDSB, are coming from an optional French program from another board, province, or country, and are considering one of our optional programs for your child, you'll be able to register at a later date once proof of address is acquired. Please contact your home school to find out about the process. Busing is not provided for Extended French. Busing is provided to families meeting the distance criteria for French Immersion. You can use the haltonbus.ca website to determine eligibility for busing. In Halton, we believe that students from all cultural, linguistic, and academic backgrounds have the ability to learn another language to deepen their connections to others. As in all programs in Halton, appropriate supports will be provided to ensure students find greater success and confidence while using the language. As they develop intercultural understanding and awareness, they grow into global citizens ready to adjust to many new situations.
For more information about French as a Second Language programs in the Halton District School Board, please follow the video link on the screen.